I know my style. Do you know yours? I can't wait to find out. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Beyond the Ink. I am your host, Jordan DeLass, and today it's all about style. That's just my style. Alright, I'll give you points if you can tell me which video game that quote is from. Anyways, let's talk about style. Let's get right into it. And we need to talk about finding your own kind of style, whether it's your art or it's your writing. So let's talk about that. But first, I want to talk about how I found my style with Whose World. And it's kind of funny because when I first started it, I was really into drawing anime at the time, or anime, however you want to pronounce it. So I wanted to have something really expressive, but really simple to draw. And from my point of view, when it comes to drawing comics, it's simplicity is bliss. I know it's kind of cheesy, but that's just the way that I like to work, and it's been working for me with my style for the longest time. So anyways, when I first started it, I wanted to have the art look more cartoony, but with more exaggerated expressions like anime/anime. Again, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. So anyways, when I first started drawing it and started putting it out for the first couple of months, I got a lot of comments saying that it looked similar to Eddsworld. And keep in mind, I wasn't really reading or watching anything at the time because I wanted to focus on my art and I wanted to push it somewhere. So when people told me that, I was like, really? I've never even heard of it. So I looked it up and wouldn't you know, me and the artist of not Whose World, because I do draw Whose World, me and the person who draws Eddsworld do have similar styles. But the thing is, it's a very coincidental style, which is okay. And that brings me to my next point. If you're going to start something up, whether it's art or writing, like I've been saying, do not directly steal from another artist. That's never good. And if you put something out that's blatantly stealing, you're going to get called out on it, and you're going to have a hard time covering your butt, you know? So don't do that. But it's okay to take inspiration from somebody and apply it to your own style. So just keep that in mind. Your style is going to progress over time, and it won't take a single day for you to find it. So just take it for what it is, go along for the ride, and hope that your style evolves into something that you like. I mean, it's taken me about 3.5 years to finally settle on a style for Whose World that I'm comfortable with as far as the character designs, the character personalities, and how I like to write the comic as a whole. So I have to say, it's an adventure, and it's been a really fun one at that. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is where to get the inspiration for your style or whatever medium that you're doing. And first and foremost, the most important thing is to write about what you know. You may know somebody that fits the personality of a certain character that you're developing, or you may have found yourself in a certain situation that you want to write about. Inspiration comes from everywhere. So just take a look around you, take a look at your life, take a look at your family, friends, and I'm sure you'll find some inspiration for your characters and possibly storylines or something to write about. Because, like I said, inspiration comes from everywhere. And sometimes it might come from a place that you least expect it, you know? For example, let's talk about writing for a little bit because, this is beyond the ink and I can talk about different mediums. But anyways, I wanted to write a book. That has always been on my bucket list and I didn't know what to write about. So, at the time, about 4 or 5 years ago, there was this boom of fairy tale rewritings. And I was like, you know what? I want to get in on that. So I decided to do a rewrite or a retelling of Peter Pan. But it didn't pan out. It didn't go anywhere. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to put this on the back burner right now since, I want to tell an original story. So it took me a little while to figure out that, I like to tell my story as a visually impaired person. So I started writing every day for about, 20, 30 minutes to see if I can come up with something that was a little autobiographical, but at the same time more informative of what it's like to be visually impaired. So, in about 3 months, I managed to finish my first book and probably my only book since Whose World is now my only focus right now. Anyways, I finished the book and it's called Echo of Sight. Shameless plug. It's available on Tapas if you want to read it. I'm very proud of it, but that's going back to one of my points is write from what you know. So that always helps. And let's see here. You can do whatever you want. I'm sure a lot of you are probably way more creative than I am to an extent. And, just go with it, You can't, there is no wrong style at all. There's nothing wrong with any kind of creativity that you have, just as long as you have it. And everybody has some sort of creativity within them. And wow, I'm starting to sound like a fortune cookie. Anyways, but it doesn't matter if it takes you a day, if it takes you months, if it takes you years to develop your style, because I know you'll find it. All you have to do is keep going, and, I hope you have fun finding your own style, because regardless if you have a small audience, a big audience, or the most gigantic audience in the entire world, people will like your art because it was made by you. So just keep going, you guys. Keep doing what you do and just be happy with what you're doing, Everybody will have an opinion on your work, but learn to take it with everything else that's going on with what you're doing, And it'll help you along the way. It'll help you progress not only as an artist, but as a person as well. And I can honestly say that all the criticism and all the tips and, all the advice I've been given over the years have honestly helped me grow. And I can't wait to grow more. And I can't wait to see and hear how all of you grow within your specific medium and your styles. So that's it for me today, everybody. I'm sorry this was a shorter episode, but this has been Jordan Alas, and this episode has been inked. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you next time.